welcome to the channel. My name's Ragtag, the greatest gutter tier gamer on the face of this earth, and I finally bought another heirloom because I absolutely love not having to think of an inventive video, which brings us to buying cosmetics for content. But look at this marvelous invention, Watson's Heirloom, the TRM, the Look, it's the TRM Energy Reader 1.0, and it's an astonishing work of art, wrapped in copper wire with a SATA cable delicately stuck down with a cute kitty sticker. And the question on absolutely nobody's lips is, how do we destroy our enemies with such a device? But don't you worry, the gutter tier shall answer it by spinning you a tale of my adventures with Watson, my least played legend, but newfound main compelled by silly spending. Oi, that's illegal. Stop running away from my cattle prod. I heard more enemies approaching, and it gave me time to reflect that whilst it seemed as if I was the new member of the Ghostbusters trying to detect paranormal activity with this thing, my opponents hit the floor with the feedback of a satisfying sizzle. And you know what? I wanted more. Apparently, so did that Pathfinder, and now's a good time to mention that if you're new here, this channel is more about the journey than the eliminations. Let's face it, so if you're expecting a 4K 20 limb game in the infinite wisdom of the great King T'Challa, we don't do that here. But we do make a comeback now and again. Well, I did say now and again, but this was neither now or again. But you know what? That mini television aerial was worth taking out for a spin, and while I think I stand a better chance of winning a game by actually shooting guns, that's exactly what I set about doing in the next game, but dropping into Geyser. Nobody was to be found, so we did the usual, headed straight for Fragment with my nice new rose gold longbow skin. What happened to the sound of my second shot? Go drunk, longbow, you're home! Anyway, almost dropped my heirloom and then made my way to gunfire closer by, finding action by one of the massive 20-story buildings that strangely only ever has 2 or 3 accessible floors. Arcstar out, heirloom still greasy from my fish and chip stained hands. Let's-a go! And perhaps the shield battery was a poor choice right there, but you could also argue that Crypto's EMP wasn't boss level either.
They're trying to corner us.
That would be a really bad time to parkour. A really bad time! Stop it! Okay, yep, I have deemed the Energy Reader most effective with a thrusting motion towards my enemies like a good old defib unit, but now we were so low on heavy ammo that the heirloom might have to work again. Bangalore down, and I still can't keep a hold of this blasted thing. Guess it was all up to the longbow now, but just in case there was a glimmer of hope that Crypto could retreat or somehow help me, I typed to him, "Have zero!"
Someone destroyed my drone.
Did I ever tell you that the longbow is an effective shotgun?
Someone else is here.
No, I didn't. That's because it's hot, steaming garbage. Against that team of 3, there was no way I could fight them without heavy ammo, and I reluctantly left my squad to their doom. Scavenging in the other buildings left me with only 25 bullets to rush my enemies with, and while not ideal, the longbow still had the chance to get me an inexplicable headshot, and I heard more than just one squad's footsteps in this zone, and with the chaos of the closing ring, I felt that the tide could still turn in our favour. So as with all underdogs who believe in changing their stars, this wasn't over. someone covering that door. There was definitely a team of 3 in there, and I nearly gave up on crypto. Nearly. Because we had to try.
I must be using it soon. Deploying heat shield. Just topping up my shields.
Hang on, crypto. This isn't over yet. Actually, it was over. I could practically hear crypto shouting, "Where are you going?" Well, I'll tell you where I'm going. There was another squad walking right around that corner. There was no way I could fight them all, so with heavy heart, we would be escaping with only one of my 2 teammates. Also, I was absolutely done with the Prowler at this point because apparently there wasn't any heavy ammo left in World's Edge. The beacon signaled the remaining squads that I'd pulled off a daring resurrection, and we didn't have long. However, we did have long enough to check out one of the heirloom animations. Wait, no, maybe we didn't have time for that right now.
Time to drop shot you up. Got the hit. Check out this area.
As Bangalore and myself fled east, we needed an equalizer with us not being at full strength anymore, so hope was to be found in the prospect of a care package, which perhaps Bangalore could make use of. So I scouted the area, only to see an interested Octane. I started to wonder who else wanted to compete for the care pack. Perhaps this was a bad idea after all.
Got company. Heat squad is attacking us. Just topping up my shields. Planting fences. Is complete.
The gunfire attracted everybody left on the map, and if there was ever a time for a miracle, this was it.
Storms. Setting the fence. Raise their bar. Laying fences. The fence is complete. Reloading. My shields are recharged.
Yeah, well, what can I say? Miracles are in short supply right now, but you've not seen all the heirloom animations yet, so this story isn't done. Okay, note to self, that's a reinforced glass window. And Wraith got the gun. This wasn't good. Time for the old chaseroo. Not how I imagined this game starting, but surviving was more important than the method behind it. Wow, that was lucky. Okay, right, yeah, our adventures in Antenna started out as a ridiculous joke, but would end in total dominance. Loba's escape outsmarted me, which I suppose isn't much of an achievement these days, but nonetheless, I had become inadvertently separated from my team and they'd already pushed towards Jurassic Park, which was just as well, because that's also where enemies were. Or was it one enemy? Wait, was that the Loba from before? I don't know what just happened, but you know what? I'm taking it. And I celebrated my cheap kill with an heirloom animation. Now, if you haven't already sussed this out, if you want to fight in Storm Point, the command center is definitely a great place to go, but I find the most reliable spot for a good battle is Cascade Falls. And today, it did not disappoint. I mean, my aiming is about to disappoint you for sure, but the fight was definitely here.
What a marvelous sight. Tossing a grenade.
It's a warning shot. Okay, it was a misclick. Don't just shush.
The whole squad's been shut down.
Spotted. Reloading.
Reloading.
Just a solitary Ash left, but deadly with that sentinel. We'd have to be careful here. But for me, I'd chase this enemy to the ends of the earth, or at least until I run out of breath.
Reloading.
Okay, that was more cardio than expected, but now there were only 2 other squads left on this map, so in celebration of getting this far, I whipped out the heirloom and got a lovely surprise.
Gas trap deployed.
I'm in trouble. Engaging the enemy. Just second squad in the distance. Engaging the enemy. Just
With round 3 closing, may as well find ourselves a castle and declared ourselves the kings and queens of this new domain. But the fight wasn't quite as straightforward as it appeared, because the 2 other teams, well, they weren't interested in the castle. I guess we'd have to go and invade theirs. Ah yes, the alternator. The gun that has decided that I just don't have its favour anymore, and I'm destined to empty entire magazines of disruptor rounds into thin air. It feels as if the gun has come to life in my hands, just so that it can be tempestuously spiteful.
Subject. Left me in sight.
I'm in trouble. Second squad is attacking us.
I bathe in the proof. Scanning the area.
Sometimes wall hacks are just not that helpful.
Recharging.
Changing my shields.
Reloading. The whole squad's been shut down. Just us and them.
The ring's close. 45. Far. Fire.
Just a solo player left now, and we know how to deal with those, don't we?
Reloading. In view. Forget that. Reloading.
Wow, that's actually a little bit irritating. I mean, they just straight up left us to not give us the satisfaction of the final elimination, but little do they know that I see the champion screen so rarely you can just yeet your PC out the window for all I care. So long as I win, their death happens regardless. So I'll take it. I'm not picky. There we go. I'm a Watson main now, just for today, that is. Well, until I go and play Winter Express. That should be fun. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you in the next one. Later.